Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Great Black Speakers Podcast, where we connect through conversation. I am your host, Lawrence Watkins. I am the founder and CEO of Great Black Speakers Bureau. I'm also the president and chief operating officer of the Black Business School. We have a very special guest with us today. We're talking with Miss Brandy Woods, and Brandy is the founder of Imagine Me Academy, which is a private collection of preschools in Houston, Texas. And she's also the founder of Childcare Millionaires, which is a support incubator for those who want to own their own childcare chain. And today we're talking all about how Brandy used transferable skills to start a thriving childcare company. So Brandy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Really excited about the opportunity to share my story with you all.
Yeah, we're very excited to hear about it. So for those who don't know what Imagine Me Academy is, can you explain what that is and then how you got to this point in your career?
Absolutely. So Imagine Me Academy is a chain of private preschools here in the Houston area. And I got here from an amazing story, actually. When my oldest daughter was growing up, we literally had several different problems finding suitable childcare because she had some special needs. And I was an educator at the time thinking, man, I can do this 100,000 times better than the schools that I was going in and out of. So I kind of used my passion for education and also the passion for making sure my daughter had the best education to start Imagine Me Academy back in 2013.
Got you. So what were you doing before that, though, right? Before you started Imagine Me Academy, what was your profession?
So I know I only look 22, right? But I'm a
Yes, right.
22 educational vet. I got my first classroom at the tender age of 19. All of the parents thought I was the daughter of the teacher, and I was that girl. I was the teacher. So literally, I started in college, like tutoring and working in the student center, and I just love teaching. And then I went on to get certified, become a principal, become a curriculum director, and kind of work my way up the educational ladder in public education. But I just saw so many deficits, especially when it came to our children. And then when I realized they were tracking our children to prison from third grade, and now they're tracking our students to prison from pre-K, that was hurtful for me. And so I said, there's got to be a better way. And if you can't be a part of the solution, why are you talking about it? So we opened the doors to Imagine Me Academy in 2013 and have really became a roadmap or a blueprint for other people who want to own a child care center.
Got you. So you serve many roles in the industry, the education industry. I believe you said that you were a principal. You started out at age 19, just with your first job while you were in college. Talk about that, though, in terms of the transition, right? The transition in 2013, like what was the impetus or the thing that really got you over the hump? Was it just because your daughter needed special care or additional care, or was there something else that went along with that?
I think I've always had a burning desire, like to be an entrepreneur. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My mom was an entrepreneur. She owned the local hood before it was popular. My grandfather was an enterpriser or a hustler, however you want to put it. I sold blow pops in the third grade. I was selling out the school fundraiser. I just always had that spirit. But I really thought I would always be a teacher. I thought I would always have a side hustle, right? I never really thought I would take these skills I had learned and go full-time and into entrepreneurship. But it was something wrong. Like, I felt like I was selling out a little bit because I knew the problems in public education, but I wanted to do more than I could do under the titles that I held. So I decided to kind of step out, and it wasn't glorious. People laughed at me. They didn't understand why I was leaving a six-figure job to go play with kids all day. My first building was tiny. I could only take 19 kids. And so they knew I wasn't going to make the money that I was making in public education. So it was this public, drawback. And there was also this internal thing like, am I making the right decision? Because even though I do have these children and I want them to have the best education, I also need to be economically sound. So it was not an easy decision by far.
So what does your family say? Because you mentioned just other people in terms of the industry asking why, but since your family came from entrepreneurs, or you came from a family of entrepreneurs, what did they say?
So I come from a family of dream makers. So you tell them you want to fly, they're like, girl, what do we need to do to make your wings? Like, what are we doing today? So my family definitely banded around me. An added blessing in starting the academy is my husband now was my contractor on the building. My cousins came and painted and put up fence. But my mom owned this really small building and she had a cleaners in. So you know how small a cleaners is. And that's where we opened the first school. We could take 19 kids within 7 months. I was wall to wall, couldn't take any more students. Within a year of opening, I had opened my second school, which was 8,000 square foot, and we could take 119. So I always say, God didn't give me 100-fold, but He gave me 100 more. And it was just a testament of when you band together as a community, and my family was my community, that you could get it done. So the support of my family was, oh my God, I can't even measure.
Uh-oh. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if it's on my end, but okay, go ahead. Are you there? Yeah, you
No,
can't
I'm
even
just
mention?
saying
Yeah.
so we just kept moving. We just, we depended on the support system we had. So all of those skills I learned in education, and with the support of my family, we were able to make something big where now we have multiple centers and we can employ multiple families. So it was really a blessing, not just for my family, but all the families we employ.
Got you. So I want to go back to that self-doubt though, right? Because you have all these people questioning you in regards to, making this decision and leaving this six-figure job. What was the thing that kept you going to overcome that doubt though?
Yeah,
Uh-oh,
self-doubt could be, it could be a big thing. And so you have to really manage like your self-talk. And I talk a lot about this in my book. I mean, your self-talk can propel you into doing something, or it can literally paralyze you to make you think you're not good enough. You can feed into your doubts. So we all have self-talk, negative and positive. You just have to decide which self-talk you're going to listen to. Because, I could have listened to my other self-talk and played it safe, and I literally could have kept making $100,000 a year. Calculate the risk and calculate the reward. And in this situation, I'm really glad I chose me. Could have meant I was always working on someone else's schedule, or I didn't have the ability to move and travel when I wanted to. Open my, every step of the way we're learning something new. And one of our biggest blessings in the last 2 years is really helping others, track on the same dream. Because I'm sure there's someone watching saying, man, I really wish I could open my own school, or I really wish I could open my own back to school program, but there's not a go-to person for them to talk to. So I've become that go-to person in our community for people who want to see the educational level or the different program in our community grow. So, and I know you were saying,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. If you see me turn my video off, it's because our internet connection is kind of choppy. So I'm doing it to reduce bandwidth as well. So there might be a little lag and delay too. But that's what's going on up here. So sorry about that.
asking the question, no problem.
All right, cool. So my next question Yeah, I wanted to know a little bit about. Oh, by the way, for people just tuning in, I'm here with Brandy Woods. Brandy is the founder of Imagine Me Academy, a private collection of preschools in Houston, Texas, and also the founder of Childcare Millionaires, which is a support incubator for those who want to own their own childcare chain. And today we're talking about how Brandy used transferable skills to start a thriving childcare company. So if you guys like this video, please go ahead and press the thumbs up button. Show us some love so that Google and YouTube's algorithm can show us some love as well. And make sure that you check out Brandy's website too. So Brandy, where are you wanting people to view more of you at?
So you can check me out at Powerhouses United to find out all things entrepreneurial that I'm doing. That's Powerhouses with an S, United with a D.com. And then you can always hook me up on Facebook, Brandy Woods.
All right, so Powerhouses United. So there we go. .com, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I want to talk a little bit more about, in terms of product development, right? So you started talking about how you wanted to start this, I guess, childcare chain because of your daughter with special needs. So talk about her needs, I guess. You don't have to talk about specifically, but how what you experienced in that personal level helped you decide on what to focus on in your childcare company.
Absolutely. So my daughter was on the autism spectrum. She was actually misdiagnosed in the beginning. They just thought she was defiant. So they just like, man, what do we do with this kid? She's reading at 3, but she will not sit down in her seat. And so it was very painful because I was an educator and had helped hundreds of kids, but had this pain in helping my own kid, you know? And so I had to really slow down in that moment and say, what would I do if I was her teacher? So we began to build our programming because we took some time and kept her home. We began to build our programming and she responded to it. So one of the things in each of our school is we train teachers on how to deal with ADHD, oppositional defiance, autism, children with Down syndrome, children with speech delay. So not only do we take care of general ed and the most healthy kid, but we also take care of the kids who need that special love. And because of that, parents in droves gravitate to us because we have just a really reputation for being helpful, to connecting parents with the right resources, and also not just listening with a business ear because we are a business, but listening from an empathetic ear, like your child is a person and we know that this is your most prized possession. You know, you've given us your best baby and we have a responsibility to build individualized programming around your child. So in our product development, that's what it was all about. Whatever child comes in this door, can we offer them the most love, support, and education that's appropriate for that child?
That's interesting. So how did you go about finding your first customers, and what are some of the things that you did to listen to your first customers? Because you mentioned in terms of your daughter, in terms of what she needed, but then you mentioned also listening. So talk about that in terms of how you found your first customers as well.
So like when I was opening, like Obama was the thing, he was like going into presidency. So we did like Obama. We were grassroots. We were talking to people, doing phone chains, like Brandy's opening a school. Brandy's opening a school. Like we were going into churches, communities. In our first school, we could only take 20 kids. Literally, within 4 months, we had a waiting list. Within 6 months, we knew we had to move. But basically, we are built on a word of mouth association. And now we use things like Facebooks and videos and parent referral systems and Google, all that great stuff. But it was really one mother talking to another mother, one father talking to another father saying, you can't go anywhere else. You have to go to Brandy. You know, so Imagine Me Academy became an icon in the communities that we serve.
Got you. So talk about those early days in terms of your first school. What were some of the biggest challenges that you had when you were first getting started?
I was everything. Like I was the janitor, I was the curriculum director. I opened, I closed, I cooked, I ran copies. I was everything, you know. And I'm sure some of you that are entrepreneurs, you understand what that first year looks like. So I learned over time, and as money got better, that we could employ people that could do things better than us to make us grow. But that was my biggest challenge. And today, it's still one of my biggest challenges. You know, as we grow, I have to relinquish things to other people. And so that's still hard because at the heart of it, this is my heart. So sometimes it's hard for me to give it up, but I'm learning to give it up because there are people who can do it better.
Got you. So talk about then in regards to that's a good point in terms of relinquishing as you continue to grow. I want to talk about the growth between school 1 and school 2, right?
Yes.
In regards to what needed to happen, because you're talking about relinquishing, and that made me think about this, idea and concept of systems, right? So I want to know from you, like, what did that process look like in terms of scaling to a second location?
So I would say the public school system definitely prepared me for this, because when I was a curriculum director, I would literally go to 22 schools. So when I opened Imagine Me Academy, I never had the idea to open one school. I never had a mom and pop philosophy behind what I was doing. I always built to scale. So we documented every process, from how you open in the morning to how much you cook, depending on how many kids are in the building, or what days do we make copies, what days do we post on Facebook. We documented every single process. So that helped us to duplicate. So sometimes we're not successful again because we don't know what made us successful in the beginning. So because we were cataloging so we could duplicate, we know the things that did not work. Don't run that promotion ever again. Don't use this vendor ever again. The kids hate black eyed peas. Don't ever, so as we did certain things, we just knew it didn't work. So as we moved from Center 1 to Center 2, we were pushed ahead of our timeline, because when we moved, we had a waiting list of 67 kids. Like, we were pushed. It was like, so do I keep the kids I have, or do I get these 67? So we had to learn how to duplicate our process quickly. We didn't have a choice if we wanted to continue to grow. Between the time I've opened my first school to this one, even though I've opened 3 for myself, I've helped open almost 30. I'm on the 38th school right now, helping other people open their 38th school. And it's been a very rewarding thing to know that process, that duplication does work, not just in Texas, not just with a school of this size, not just with Black and brown children. The process just works.
Well, that leads to the vision then of what you want to do. So can you talk about that a little bit more in regards to what is your overall vision for Imagine Me Academy and childcare millionaires, excuse me.
Absolutely. So this vision scares me. It's kind of even difficult to talk about because it's so much bigger than me. I know that I have to take myself out of the process. But we definitely will own 10 corporate schools like that we actually own. And then we hope to sell our system and duplicate our system thousands of times for other people, because there's no reason for people to struggle with the things that we struggle with. We don't want you out there creating forms. We don't want you out there figuring out how to train teachers, how to set up binder systems, what vendors work. That stuff just wastes your time. We want people taking care of kids. But on the bigger scale, we have this hope of real estate, right? So you don't own something until you own the building. So just like if you want to go out and open a Chick-fil-A, they'll sell you the system, but when it comes to that building, they got it unlocked. So we would love to, as people come to us and they say, I really want to open this school, we say, great. We have a property that's ready for an owner. Do you meet this criteria? Let's match you up with a property in a community. Okay, you don't have a property, you have a piece of land, So we see ourselves building schools like all across America. Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Us, and the people were like stretched out. It was a little creepy, but we see like all these healthy, stretched out versions of Imagine Me Academy. And yours may be Sunshine Academy. Yours may be Big Mama's Academy. I don't know. But the system works no matter the name. So we want people to, take hold of the system, but, make it their own.
Got you, got you. Okay, now this is awesome. I want to take a quick break, but when we get back, I want to talk a little bit more about the childcare industry and why that may be thriving for African Americans, and why we need to get more Black people up in this particular industry, in this space as well. But before I do, I'm here with Brandy Woods. Brandy is the founder of Imagine Me Academy, a private collection of preschools in Houston, Texas. She's also the founder of Childcare Millionaires, a support incubator for those who want to own their own childcare chain. So today we're talking about how Brandy used transferable skills from education in terms of working in public schools to start a thriving childcare company. So if you guys like this video, please go ahead and press the thumbs up button. As a matter of fact, on the count of 3, if everyone can press the thumbs up button, that would be great. 1, 2, 3. Press the thumbs up button. Show us some love. Show Brandy some love. We really appreciate it. You can also find out more about Brandy at powerhousesunited.com. That's powerhouses with an S, united.com as well. So please check her out there, and also on Facebook as well. So Brandy, let's talk about the opportunity for Black folk in this industry. I know you have Childcare Millionaires.
Yes.
So can you talk about that a little bit more?
Well, first of all, childcare is a $1 billion industry. $1 billion, $58 billion last year. It's also an industry that's growing by about 4 to 5% every year. And you know as well as I know that we live in mostly 2 parents, they're both working, or 1 parent, and you have to work, So who takes care of the children? Grandparents, they're living longer, they're doing their own thing. So you can't necessarily, depend on grandma anymore to be the sole provider of childcare. So we have a market. That's the main thing. Any business you need to know about, does it have a market? The answer is absolutely yes. Does it have a growing market? Absolutely yes. The other great thing is if you run a great program, your income is residual. Like you can count on it week after week after week after week. It's an industry with great cash flow. Not only just with great cash flow, the time we keep our customers. I have one of the families that was my first family in 2013. I still have one of the siblings. So just imagine if this family year after year is paying me approximately $8,000 a year per child, and they're on their 7th year, how much? They've had 3 children. Not only do I have that family, I have her sister who has an infant and a school-age kids. So it's definitely, if you're doing the right thing, you're going to retain customers. You're going to have residual income. You don't have to work to find your customer every week. It's a beautiful industry from a financial side. And then the flip side, you get to add value to the community.
Got you. So if someone wanted to get started in the industry, are there any requirements, or what would you tell them to do?
So every state have their own requirements. So the first thing I would say to do is seek out your licensing department for your state. The second, just see what the requirements are. The second thing I would do is join my group, Childcare Millionaires, on Facebook. It's an absolutely free group. You'll get resources, free training. You'll know when I'm in your city. So the group on Facebook is Childcare Millionaires. You'll see my lovely face. Join that group to get, industry updates. And then the third thing is buy out the land. Where is there real estate in your community where you could possibly open a child care center? Because there are children in your community.
Got you. So I want to hear a little bit more about this book that you have too. So the Millionaire Midwife. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about that?
So the Millionaire Midwife is a book. It's about entrepreneurship, but it's really my story of how I literally had to start over. So what I didn't get to tell you is in the process of me being a teacher and being a principal, I literally had to start over. I found myself in a situation where I had to move back home. I found myself in a situation where I only had $12 to my name. And I had to decide, what am I going to do? I have education. I have skills. What am I going to do? So I tell a story of kind of starting over. And I also give you some skills, tools, and trades to make sure you're making the best of your life. So the book is called The Millionaire Midwife, 12 revelations of a profit producer. So if making a profit in your business is important, even if it's not childcare, you can go to Amazon and show support by buying the book.
Got you. So why did you choose the title Midwife? Is it because of the childcare centers or what?
Actually, because I want to help people birth their dreams, help you get your millions while I get my million. So it was like a play on like the birthing season, because I felt like I had to go through a rebirth of who I was, who people wanted me to be versus who I was, my expectations for myself based on opposed to what society told me the heights I could reach, you know. So I kind of wrote my own rules, and I shared those rules that I live by every day in this book. It's really like my heart on paper.
So leading, I guess, more into the book, what is your best piece of advice for someone who wants to get started in entrepreneurship, even entrepreneurship in the childcare, the childcare space? But, what would you tell those people who want to, I guess, rebirth themselves as entrepreneurs?
It would have to be two. I'm going to talk about fear first. My first thing would just be to face your fear. It's like, what's the worst that could happen? The worst thing for me that could happen, I was going to open the school. It didn't work. I still had my degree. I could go back. So that kind of like debunked all the other crazy stuff that could happen. That already had a stripping away of things that I thought was important. So just face the worst case scenario and follow your dream head on. And the second piece of advice, because I cannot give one, is the fact of compounding effort. Sometimes people think I'm going to do a lot at once enough. It doesn't work like that. You have to do something consistently to get that effort. It's just like compounding interest of your money. Your interest gets interest. Same thing on your effort. Your effort gets effort. And when people see your effort, they don't mind giving their effort. And so you have to just be consistent. The way we lose, especially in our community, is we're not consistent. We're ideal generators, but we're not always finishers. So I had to really talk to myself about being a finisher, because I'm a Christian. I don't know if those of you who are listening are, but even our brother Jesus said, it is finished. So even him, in all his trials, tribulations, and all his glory, he had to also become a finisher. And you don't finish by doing it one day. You finish by being consistent to the journey and doing something daily. So those are my two things. Just debunk the fear, like deflate it, take all the air out of it, and just do something every day and you'll see progress.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. So, to close us out, can you just tell the audience a little bit more in terms of where they can find you once again?
Yes. So on Instagram, I'm Brandy Woods 1908 to all my AKA Sarahs. I know you guys are listening, and I'm Pet Analytics, so you can go ahead and click that follow button on Instagram, Brandy Woods 1908. On Facebook, you'll find me, Brandy Woods. If you need any information, you can go to my website, powerhousesunited.com. And for those of you who even have an ounce of interest in childcare, please join our group, Childcare Millionaires, so we can help you break into this billion-dollar industry to claim your $1 million empire.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I would like to give a warm 5-ski to Brandy today as well. There we go.
I'm so excited, didn't know.
And yeah, make sure you check out Brandy. And if you're looking to have childcare as an opportunity for you in regards to just getting into the industry, please check out Childcare Millionaires on Facebook as well. So I would like to thank our corporate sponsor, the blackbusinessschool.com, where we don't just help you climb the corporate ladder, we help you build one as well. So what we do is help African Americans to obtain a culturally relevant yet practical education in all things wealth building at an affordable price. If you want to have additional freedom in your life, to travel the world or spend time with your family, we have courses and classes for you. If you want to leave a legacy behind to your family and your community, we have courses and classes for you for that too. Or if you just want additional stability going into your golden ages, we have courses for you for that as well. We focus on 3 major things, which is stock market investing, real estate investing, and small business and entrepreneurship. So maybe we need to have Brandy back to do a master lecture with us in regards to the childcare industry, and the opportunities that are there as well. But please make sure you check us out at theblackbusinessschool.com. That is theblackbusinessschool.com. So on behalf of Brandy Woods, my name is Lawrence Watkins. You guys take care, be blessed, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.